Back with another video. So let's talk a little politics and war. So Donald Trump declares war on the cartels. Let's break it down. Well, in my opinion, it's a few things at play, taking place. Well, for one, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. But I did a video a little while ago regarding a quadruple cross or a triple cross concerning El Mayo and El Chapo's son. And in that video, I mentioned the fact that, well, one of the reasons why I believe the government is coming hard on immigration is because concerning the drugs and narcotics, we got, let's say, new players on the monopoly board other than the traditional players. See, the United States is used to dealing with cartel heads, and whichever one piss them off, they get rid of them and allow another one to spring up in their place. But since the immigration is being real lax, you got all kind of players, not only just Hispanic cartel players. You got Albanian players. From what I'm hearing, you even got Eritrean players. So all different kind of nationalities is coming through there. And that introduced new players on the monopoly board. Then second, you got the whole fentanyl thing. Now that, according to reports, they tracing a lot of that back to China. Although it's coming from south of the border, they tracing a lot of that money and a lot of the resources to push that from China. So that's another reason. Because China is basically a new player indirectly. Even though China got a lot of octopus arms all over, but concerning this. So the United States, you got to think, man, the United States is pro cocaine. I'm going to put it like that. Now, do I advocate using drugs or dealing with drugs? No, I don't. But we are the #1 consumer, this country. So it seemed like everything was all good when it was just that being pushed. But now we got all these other drugs coming, and they're killing people. Don't get me wrong, ain't none of it cool. And it's killing people at an alarming rate. So that's another reason why, in my opinion, the government want to put a squeeze on the border and knock off some players on that monopoly board, shake things up down there, and then whoever they choose to leave standing, that's just going to be the new cartel or the new cartel leader or the new El Chapo or whatever, Pablo Escobar, however you want to put it. And this is all my opinion. This is all speculation. But this is what I think one of the primary reasons that the United States is pushing the whole war with the cartels. Now, peep, because when you say cartels, that's just beyond the whole immigration issue. Because if it's the immigration issue, he gonna deal with the Mexican government, and he may deal with the cartel under the table concerning that. But this is an above the table issue by being him declaring it. So he's taking them straight on. So perhaps the cartel members or leaders, they've been having a free fall within the U.S. They've been doing what they do. So now the U.S. government is kind of like, nah, we about to crack down on that. It ain't about to be how it was. Y'all gonna either have to deal with us indirectly or don't deal with nobody. And this is all my opinion. So I think the government is just, they're turning the monopoly board over, and we're gonna start with these original players who we want on the board. All these new players and all these new ideas, we scratching that. And if it ain't done the way we want it, or where we can control it for the most part, then it ain't gonna be done. So this is what I think is what's going on. And I'm hearing a lot of talk, well, from both sides, saying, of course, the cartels ain't no match for special forces and Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 and G.I. Joe and all that. And on the other end, I'm hearing that, hey, man, the cartels, they got military grade weaponry, military grade training as well. and it's gonna be on their terrain, so they may even have an advantage. And plus, they got intelligence. Now, what do I say about that? Well, see, this is the thing. They definitely can't directly deal with the United States military. That's not even the question. Although warfare in the theater of warfare, there's definitely a lot of variables when you get in detail, but just on first glance, nah. A lot of the weapons and the training that they got come from the U.S. So a lot of their intel, don't get me wrong, they got their own intel, but I can see some of that being U.S. sponsored, or understand how they call it when you purposely get false intel. I forget the term for it, but it can be a lot of that. But again, I don't see it being like no all out war, no winner, no loser. I just may think it's a few players or groups that the U.S. got in mind that they want to take out or neutralize, and they're going to reinstate it to how it was for them, make America great again, without all the extra monopoly players. And this is what I'm thinking. It is not this is not a winner loser war. I even hear, you can compare the cartel to like Al Qaeda fighters or whatever. And perhaps so in a lot of ways, but Al Qaeda, let a lot of people tell it, is US trained. So you understand? If they training you, they giving you the PS2 knowledge while they got the PS4. You understand? Or the Xbox or whatever you want to call it. Where you got that old version. Don't get me wrong, it's still good, it go, but it ain't that. So that's what I liken it to that. But as far as like a war, nah, it's definitely gonna be military conflicts going on. I'm not exactly how it's gonna be fought, but again, the United States, I mean, some would say they've been in bed with certain cartels for the while anyway, DEA, FBI. So you got all them type of agencies that if need be would come together to target a specific cartel or cartel members. And notice how I keep isolating it and not just saying all the cartels, because I don't really think that's the aim of the U.S. government. And even if that was, will that stop the drugs from flowing? No, it may slow it down. So, and again, that's kind of what I think Trump aim is to do, is to kind of, will definitely, get rid of the whole fentanyl thing, because that's not U.S. sponsored. I'm just going to put it like that. And they're going to knock a few players off the monopoly board and leave the people who or groups they want there standing, and they're gonna come in like, hey, this is the rule, the new rules, or not even new rules. These are the rules, and this is just gonna be it.